Welcome to the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 3, Episode 75. I forgot to do the shooting intro. Anyways, my name is Michael Marcanio. I'm here with your boy T, also known as Tyler Revelis on the left.
Boy T.
And then we got Andre Navarro on the right, also known as...
Dre.
Dre. Yeah, okay.
Follow him on Twitter, Tweets by Dre.
Tweets by Dre.
Your boy Kyler.
Yeah, so we got Tyler, Kyler, and Michael Marcanio on the podcast. We're going over the Thanksgiving Day games. This podcast, we lost our streaming capabilities on YouTube, but we started a Twitch. I think I had one from way back in the day, but this is going to be recorded live on Twitch, so maybe we'll start doing that for all the podcasts. So if you want to ask us a question, that might be a possibility in the future if you're not listening to this live. So I'm getting confused on who I'm talking to, but
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Yeah, so follow us on the Apple Podcast app. Subscribe. If you're already subscribed, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitch if you would like. That'd be helpful too.
For real.
Go check that out. And what else we got? Yeah, leave us a rating and review on the Apple Podcasts app if you can. If you haven't already, that'd be great. Rating 5-star. But yeah, we're just gonna go over the Thanksgiving games. Who to start, who to sit. Very important stuff. This is. I feel like Thanksgiving is around the time where it's like you got to nut up or shut up. As lame as that is. I mean, this is. Don't you guys agree? Like, this is like it's make or break. There's a lot of leagues where I'm like very much on the cusp, and if I don't win these next 2 weeks, I'm out.
For sure.
And I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people are in that same boat. So this is quite important. These start sits this week.
Yep. Don't overthink it though.
Don't overthink it for sure. Don't get too cute. Don't get too cute.
Unless you fucking trying to be too cute.
Hey, but unless you playing KK Cutie, then you're getting too cute.
Oh, cutie. That was
okay.
Speaking of cutie, first game.
Hello.
Didn't know that was coming.
But yeah, so let's just get into it, huh, boys? What do you think? I like it. That's very good.
Drop gets me moist.
It does get. It gets.
A lot of people don't like that word moist.
Well, you know what? I don't like them.
It's weird. That's one of those words people really are iffy about. Moist.
Yeah. Well, I'm a fan. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan.
You know which word they shouldn't be a fan of? Young Ho. His name is Young Ho.
Young Hoku, dude. That's my fucking kicker, dude. Don't disrespect him like that.
Yeah, dude, don't disrespect his kicker, bro.
I need him to disrespect the kickers and have a bad game this week.
It's number 2 kicker, dude. Went undrafted. Picked him up.
Picked him up on the wire, Pat.
Dude. That's
Pat
why
the wire.
That's why you don't draft the kicker.
He looks like...
You just wait until the end of the draft. You draft the kicker because they're right there.
Fully
find the number 2 kicker on the waiver wire.
Fully proving why kicker shouldn't be in the league. But he looks like he kind of looks like Harold from fucking Harold and Kumar a little bit.
He does. That's it's kind of a little racist, but yeah, he does.
I mean, it's only racist if it's wrong.
He looks like Rayner.
Right.
Just start naming all of our Asian friends.
Kind of right as well.
I mean, he really does though. All right. Anyway, I was gonna say
I was thinking the other day is because when you play team, like I'm playing the Falcons, DST, so it's like the defense and special teams. So why isn't the kicker just a part of the special teams? It's like, if anything, you should just incorporate that into one thing.
Hey, exactly. So like if the punter,
not just the kicker. The kicker is a part of the defensive.
Dude, you're making I think you just made a fact right there.
Just like when you have a team's defense, if they run like a fake punt and the punter passes it 20 yards, your defense special team should get 2 points.
For sure, yeah.
But they don't. And that's why defenses also shouldn't be in fantasy.
Yeah, and also
should be rewarded with those points.
Also, I like getting them pick sixes, baby.
Pick sixes.
Yeah,
I like defenses. You can plan out a little bit. Like we have the defensive streams, and we're pretty good with them.
Yeah, we're pretty good. Last week we had the Browns and there was another one. They both had pick sixes though. We had the Browns against the Eagles, got a pick six.
I think we said the Chargers though.
The Chargers
did good. Yeah,
they had a pick six. I know that Jets ended up putting a good amount of points, but the Chargers did really well.
It was the Chargers, Browns, and I can't remember. I can pull it up.
If you have a QB who throws a pick six, your defense loses points. Like when Schaub had 5 games in a row.
Yeah, that shouldn't be. That shouldn't go against your defense. That should just go against.
I just hate when your kicker It was Dolphins, which was not good.
Hey, what do you guys think about this rule since we're on it?
Yeah.
If a QB throws a pick six, he should actually lose 4 points instead of 2.
I'll just go 2.
Nah,
I'm leaning towards 2.
Wait, if he misses a point after?
No, if the QB throws a pick six.
Oh,
instead of the defense losing points, just give it to the QB.
Well, yeah, the QB should lose points for the pick. But
yeah.
I don't know about the pick six.
Because then Jameis isn't as valuable.
No, I see what you're saying because then it's like that defense wasn't even on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I got you.
And Jameis isn't as appealing.
Yeah, that gets confusing a little bit.
Well, that's what we have.
Only if you don't think
apps.
about it.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so.
Anyways, but yeah, let's get into this first game we got. You want to move on to this first game or what?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So we've played that so many times that I think that's our thing now.
I know.
Like I forget that's so completely like something else.
Yeah, it is ours.
Okay. Well, we got the Houston Texans taking on the Detroit Lions. The Lions have a tradition on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we were talking about
They have
sports betting this, and you're like, all right.
We were talking about the
reasoning.
Lions. I said the Lions have a Thanksgiving tradition of losing on Thanksgiving. That's not how I worded it. I worded it better before, but they do have a tradition of
you
losing.
said it's tradition on Thanksgiving for the Detroit Lions to lose.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is a bummer for Lions fans, but a funny comment to make when you're making sports bets. So we'll go on to the Texans first. We always go through quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and then whether or not you should be able to play this defense. So we'll start with Deshaun Watson, quarterback. I think you can play Deshaun Watson against the Lions.
Fuck it, send it in.
Send it in. I'm with it. Any disagreements on that one?
Nah, I mean, my guy's been balling. He's been hot like Hansel lately. I think it's 24 more points in 5 of his last 6 games. I mean, he's doing what Deshaun Watson does. I would just love to see him with an offensive line one day. I don't know if that's just like part of his game, like scrambling and making plays happen. You think he'd be worse?
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. It's just, I would like to see him actually have a line. They need to address the line and protect that guy. But yeah, you're starting Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I would say so too. So that's pretty easy one there. We got Duke Johnson. What do you guys think? Start, sit. What's going on? Duke Johnson, running back, came in for David Johnson.
I mean, since David Johnson went to IR, I mean, he's played 81% of the snaps, 95, and then 77% of the snaps, but he's just not like putting up any production for the amount of snaps that he's playing out there. I mean, it is a good matchup. The Lions have allowed the 3rd most rushing yards a game. They're allowing 4.5 yards per carry, which ranks bottom 10. But then on the flip side, so that's a good matchup. You usually want to start your running backs against the Detroit Lions. But on the flip side, the Texans are just not very good at running the football. We were just talking about the offensive line, and they need to get more guys to help Deshaun Watson. It would actually help the running backs too. I mean, the Texans are averaging just 3.8 yards per carry when running the ball. That's tied 4th worst in the NFL. And they are averaging the 2nd fewest rushing yards per game. So it's kind of one of those money matchup, but the offense is just really bad at running the ball. He's burned you the last 2 weeks. I mean, what do you feel about it? Are you confident?
I'm with you on that, but I will say it's like how many opportunities are you going to play Duke Johnson? Or I almost put this in like don't get too cute category almost. Because if you have Duke Johnson, is that really your guy? Like you have to start Duke Johnson this week?
I mean, it depends on who you have on bye weeks. I mean, the Lions, I did put he's only passed double digits 1 time all year, and that's in standard or a half point. And then I put but they're playing the Lions, who give up the most fantasy points, to the I don't know if you had said that already, probably did.
Nah.
They give the most fantasy points to running backs all year. So I mean, if there is a time to do it, this would be the time.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
But he's not. Yeah, I mean, the last 3 games, he's averaging 15 touches. Still can't get even in half-point PPR. He's only averaging 8.5, right around there.
He played the Browns, the Patriots.
Yeah. I'm not a big Duke Johnson fan, especially in standard. I mean, I feel like he's more valuable in half point, but I mean, I guess you just never know the outlook of teams. I mean, like I said, there's bye weeks. There could be injuries you could have. Like,
I would say he's more like deep flex play.
Yeah.
So I'll throw some names there because I feel like, like I said, it is a money matchup. And like you're saying, Mike, if there's ever an opportunity where you're going to play him, this would be like the matchup.
Yeah,
I mean, he's on the field a ton.
For sure.
But what about some names right here? Duke Johnson or Gus Edwards? Just some names that are like around him in terms of where he's ranked.
I'd probably play Gus.
Gus Edwards.
And I'm a Steelers fan too.
Gus Edwards.
Yeah, I go Gus Edwards. Are you going Duke Johnson or Savon Ahmed?
Or who do you guys play? Who's Miami play again?
Miami plays the Jets.
Savon Ahmed.
I might go Duke Johnson. Jets defense is actually not that bad. Big Baby came back. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd go Savon Ahmed in that one. Are you going Duke Johnson or David Montgomery? David Montgomery plays Sunday night. You don't know if he's going to come back with the concussion. That's another good matchup right there. Are you willing to take the gamble of holding out for a guy like Montgomery, or are you just going to be like, let me just throw Duke Johnson in there because I don't want, for whatever reason, Montgomery doesn't play, and then now I'm kind of screwed because I have no running back option.
I'd rather lose on the chance that David Montgomery doesn't play than playing Duke Johnson, I think.
Yeah. What about Le'Veon Bell or Duke Johnson?
I'm probably going Duke Johnson at that point.
Is that crazy that that's where we're at right now?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. Le'Veon Bell, nothing. What about at a flex position? Would you rather have Curtis Samuel or Duke Johnson?
Might play Curtis.
Yeah, I might lean Curtis right there. Duke Johnson's just not getting any receiving work either. I mean, even before he was there with the Texans, Deshaun Watson just doesn't look for the running backs. I feel like he either makes things happen on the ground with his legs or he scrambles and he finds someone open down the field. He tends to rarely check it down to the running back. So even though he's out there playing a ton, he's just not getting any even like reception to give him like a safe floor. So yeah, I guess that's kind of where we all stand right there. He'd be like a desperation guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, rough one. Let's move on to the next one here. We got Will Fuller. I think it's a must start for Will Fuller.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm sitting him. I mean, would you play Will Fuller or Allen Robinson?
Will Fuller.
Yeah, I'm asking because I'm actually in a situation where I'm wide receiver heavy in the league.
I just traded one of those away. That's funny you say that. But yeah, no. I would still go Will Fuller. I mean, the Lions have given up 39 fantasy points per game to wide receiving core. You have Deshaun Watson. The Lions D isn't good. If they give up the most fantasy points to running backs and 39 to wide receivers, they're not really stopping anything.
Yeah,
except for Kenny Golladay from playing, which is really pissing me off.
They're truly giving it up like Claire.
Like chocolatey Claire's.
They're giving it up like Blair. Yeah.
So, I don't know, though. The Will Fuller, Allen Robinson one, I think I would go Fuller as well. I'm a little worried for Allen Robinson if Jair Alexander comes back for the Green Bay Packers. He's been one of the best corners. I think he's like the number one rated corner on Pro Football Focus right now. And then you don't know what's up with Nick Foles. You don't know what's up with Trubisky if he plays. So it's just kind of like there's a lot of question marks right there. I mean, I feel like Will Fuller's found the end zone almost every single game. I think he's at a safe floor every game minus that goose egg.
It's also just game script. Texans are behind almost like every game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so he has 100 yards he has a touchdown or 80 yards in all but 2 games all year, and one of the games he was hurt.
Yeah.
So
wild.
Wild Willie.
Wild, but yeah, I think you got to
Fuller.
start Will Fuller. How about Brandin Cooks? I think it's the same kind of, almost the same spot. Brandin Cooks.
Yeah, he's like a fringe. He's like a low end wide receiver 2, high end flex, the high end 3. I mean, he's worth playing though. Don't get cute.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you on that one, Dre.
Yeah, I'm just glad that he's kind of starting to really come around on this offense.
Hope it's
he was one of those guys where I was super high on him coming into this year, and I mean I don't know if it's just no training camp. I know he was kind of injured at first, dealing with a quad injury coming into the season, but I mean after he got that goose egg, I know a lot of people were dropping him, and I was trying to tell people like, hey, who are you dropping him for? Like, who can bring you the upside of what Brandin Cooks can do in this offense?
Right.
He's really turned it on the last couple weeks. I mean, he had a good game last week, 4 for 85 against the Patriots. He actually should have more than that. He had like a 15-yard touchdown that got called back on a retarded holding call or something like that. It was terrible. Oh, it was one of those plays where the the offensive lineman was running down the field, so it was an ineligible receiver down the field. So he should have had an even bigger game than what he did put up. But yeah, I like Brandin Cooks a lot.
You think he can get 400 yards in the next 6 games?
Why? I would say yes.
Because he has 634 yards on the year so far.
Oh yeah, he's first.
Because we were talking about how he gets 1,000 yards almost every season.
Yeah,
so.
he'll get 1,000. He's just hopefully he doesn't have a good game this week, but he should.
It sounds like you're playing against him.
I am.
It's tight this week, dude. It's tight. Tight, like a toy guy. Toy.
Yeah, you're dialing up Cooks.
Let's go on to we're not. You're not getting cute. Don't play Darren Fells. Don't play any of these guys.
No.
Let's go Texans defense.
I mean, hey, like I said, the Panthers just shut them out. The Panthers aren't that good on D.
Yeah, this is one of those ones we went over our defensive streams in the waiver wire episode, and I when we were talking about it, I almost suggested this one. I mean, this is like a stretch if you want to play Texans defense, but I don't think it's that bad of a. I think it's just don't be upset if he gets 0 points.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be playing the Texans defense. What you can really do on the Texans is run on them. We just talked about how bad the Lions are. There's only like 1 or 2 teams that are worse at defending the run, and the Texans are one of them. So I'm expecting the Lions to kind of really lean on the run game, especially if Galladay is out, Amendola's out.
Yeah, it's going to be
we can jump right
so
into
what?
those.
That's exactly what I put too.
You could run on them. So
it's
going
to be a big AP.
Control. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it'll be a lot more closer than what last week's game was for the Lions and the Panthers. But
Yeah.
what I think what I'm saying is I think there's just better options out there.
All right, well, that being said, let's go on to the Detroit Lions. We got Matthew Stafford to start us off. You down to play Matthew Stafford?
It's definitely a no for me, though.
There you go. I put risky start. No Golladay. I mean, right now, I'm a Stafford owner, and I'm trying to look elsewhere just in case. But, yeah, just too many hurt players on the offense right now. Mostly Golladay. For me to trust.
I wish I would have looked this up before we got on, but it would have been a nice little hashtag interesting stat. But like, what Stafford's stats are when he plays on Thanksgiving? Like, does he ball on Thanksgiving? Is it just like a trend? Like, no matter what, he just balls. You know, you would have had to have looked back for like the last like probably 10 years or whatever. But it'd be interesting to find out. I know we're gonna be watching the game, or someone's gonna come out with a stat. They're gonna tweet it, and they're gonna say, you know, Stafford averages 21 points per game or 18 points per. You know, one of those crazy things, but. That would be nice to know.
That's funny.
Before the game,
I was trying to look that up, and then you know how I got discouraged? I went back 1 year. I was like, let me see what he did last year. I was like, oh, he didn't even play last year on Thanksgiving. I'm over.
Oh yeah, that was
David Blah.
Yeah, that was
But Galladay ball, he caught that broken. Well, they say it was broken coverage, but he ran that double move on that corner and made him fall.
He had a good game in 2013.
There you go. There you go. Calvin Johnson was
He's
still
just
playing.
been so inconsistent, Stafford. And a lot of his value depends on if, you know, does Amendola play? Does Kenny Galladay play? Does DeAndre Swift play? You know, all those guys, you know, they're questionable at this point. You know, we're recording this on Tuesday night, so we still don't have confirmation of whether those guys are going to play or not. So, yeah, I'd be looking elsewhere for the options if I could instead of Stafford. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some crazy stat where you'll be watching the game and they'll be like, he averages 300 yards and 2 touchdowns on Thanksgiving. You know, because they play so much on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And my thing is with him too, I'm skeptical on playing players that are already hurt going into, especially quarterbacks. You know, because if they tweak something, like even if they miss like a quarter, I mean, it's a QB. You expect, you know, for them to you know, their point output to be probably one of the higher for your team. So if they're getting smacked or if he, you know, tweaks something, he could sit out, and then you're really done. So
yeah,
definitely.
Then you're really done, though.
Risk.
All right, well, let's go on to the next one here. We got DeAndre Swift. Could possibly not be playing this week.
If he plays, fire him up.
Yeah, if he's playing,
for sure.
Probably like a top 10 running back if he plays. He's still dealing with the concussion that I think he suffered in practice last week. I know he practiced today, which is Tuesday, but he still hasn't officially cleared the NFL concussion protocol, so he's still kind of questionable whether or not he's going to play. Him practicing is a good sign in the right direction.
For sure.
But yeah, like I said, if there's one team that's worse than the Lions at defending the run, it's the Houston Texans. So if Swift is in there, I mean, man, like I said, he's got top 10 upside this week.
Yep, definitely. If he's playing, put him in. Let's go on to Adrian Peterson. And I think this is just like how we're saying, if he's not playing, then maybe throw Adrian Peterson in, or do you think Kerryon Johnson gets in there?
I mean, I feel like both those guys, like I felt bad because last week AP was one of my starts, and then Kerryon was like one of my sleepers. I thought this game would be a little bit more competitive, but it really just got away from the Lions, and it seems like they were just throwing every play. Sure. They abandoned the run against, the Panthers aren't very good at defending the run. But I think this game will be a little bit more competitive than what it was last week for the Lions. So I'm expecting them to be able to like run the ball and and pass the ball, not just totally abandon the run. So I want to say if you need a pinch, go at AP, but it's so hard after he burned me and everyone else who listened to me last week. But I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on it.
I mean, if he's playing, or I think if DeAndre Swift's not playing, maybe like a flex option, but you don't want to play him as in your flex on Thursday. So I'm going to be fading him, to be honest, but I can see where you can make the argument to flex him. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, let's go on to the next one here. We got Kerryon Johnson. No.
I mean, it's all based on DeAndre Swift, I feel like.
Yeah, but if it's DeAndre Swift's out, are you playing AP or Kerryon?
I think I'm going to go AP.
AP, yeah, because
I
he'll get
think
the goal line work.
I'm with you on that one, too. I think.
Those are like desperation plays if Swift is out, though.
Yeah, it's not like, they're out. This is the Texans matchup. Let's do this. It's you never know what the line is.
Are you going, just hypothetical, just throwing something out, if Swift is out and your choice is AP or Duke Johnson, who would you prefer?
I would prefer Duke Johnson. I prefer AP. No, Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson.
I think I'd go AP on that one. But it's gross.
No, I would go Duke Johnson, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Final answer, Duke Johnson. All right, let's go on to the receivers. We got Kenny Golladay. What's the status, boys?
Hey, did you know there's no bye weeks this week?
Really?
Holy shit! Yeah,
probably because
the
of
COVID teams have been but teams have buys next week though.
Yeah. Kenny Golladay, he practiced yesterday, but he did not practice today. So I don't know if he went out there and practiced on Monday and then like he re-aggravated it, or he didn't look good, so they were just like, okay, like we're just gonna sit you again, or if he practiced once and they were like, okay, he's good, but we're just gonna rest him until Thursday. So tomorrow will be like the telling day of whether he practices or not. But I mean, if Kenny Galladay's on the field, he's in my lineup.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's like.
And that boosts Stafford's staff. I feel like that boosts Stafford's stock and even Hockenson. I mean, that'll help the whole offense. I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, he's missed 2 games now, right? So he's going on his potential third game he missed.
Yeah, and they're saying how they won't put him on IR, but they're not releasing that much information. But I mean, I feel him if you don't have to put him on IR.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you don't.
Hopefully they just don't pull the Joe Mixon where Mixon misses 2-3 games and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, now we're gonna put you on IR.
Well, yeah, which is fucked.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, just keep an eye on whether he practices on Wednesday.
Keep an IR on it.
Keep it. Yeah, there's a good. I
Keep
like
an
that.
IR on
Let's go on to Marvin Jones Jr. Marvin Jones Jr.
I mean, I would say he's a flex play with upside. I mean, last week, they got shut out, so he didn't do well. But before that game, he was doing pretty well in the absence of Kenny Golladay. I mean, he's the number one guy. Had, I want to say, 3 touchdowns in 4 games, maybe something like that.
He's been a touchdown machine. As of late.
He's been eating. So last game, like I said, don't pay too much attention to it. Just a bad game for him, but. I mean, you would figure if Golladay doesn't play, he's going to see, 7 to 10 targets, at least 7, right?
Yeah, I would think so for sure. And he's actually got the 3rd best wide receiver cornerback matchup per Pro Football Focus. So, I mean, if there's one guy where Stafford could lean on, especially like I said, if Galladay's out, then yeah, I think he's got a good amount of upside. Flex guy. But like Mike always says, since it's Thursday, if you're gonna put someone in your flex spot, move them into like if you're gonna flex a running back or one of these receivers, actually throw that running back or receiver into the wide receiver or running back position. That way, if anything happens to someone later on in the week, you have the flexibility.
Yeah, like say you have David Montgomery.
Flexibility. I knew it was
the best ability.
I felt it.
Well, say you have David Montgomery, and you don't know if you put say you put Duke Johnson or something in the running back position. Now if David Montgomery's out, you can switch up and maybe put a wide receiver off your bench in that flex spot.
100%.
So all right, let's go on.
I like it.
Let's go on to the tight end. We got TJ Hockenson.
Yep, he's a low end tight end 1. I mean mid to low end. The tight end, the position isn't too deep. I mean, not that deep, but I mean he's playable. But safe floor. I mean, you never know with Stafford. It's all on Stafford too. Based on how healthy he is. But I mean, you're playing. I feel like you play Hockenson if you have him, unless you have one of these like top tier guys. But I mean, he should be. I would play him.
Yeah, Hockenson is. I feel like he's, especially with how the tight end position has been this year. I mean, outside of Kelsey, I feel like it's been all over the place. I mean, obviously Darren Waller's pretty good. Kittle, was been banged up. But even Mark Andrews up and down, Ertz all over the place. I feel like it's been so hard to find a consistent tight end. But I feel like Hockenson has been like the next closest thing,
like second tier,
to consistency for the tight end position. He's in that set it and forget it territory for me. I mean, you're kind of seeing why the Lions went out and drafted him in the top 10 last year.
Yep.
And it's really rare to go out and get a tight end that early in the NFL draft. So you're kind of just seeing, I feel like, why they went out and made the move to go get him. I think Dre's right, too. When Galladay's out there, it obviously just helps him, opens things up for him.
The Texans have given up 4 touchdowns to tight ends, only average of 7.9 fantasy points per game.
Well, we'll see what's good.
Word to your mother.
Word on the streets.
Lions defense. I want to just hit that.
It's definitely a no for me, though.
Yeah, don't do it. You know what I mean?
I'm good.
I think we're all good. I'm playing in Lions defense. Let's go on to the next matchup, huh, boys? Let's do it. We got the Washington football team playing the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Washington football team will win this game.
Shout out to Alex Smith for coming back getting a dub, but you're going to sit down, player.
So Alex Smith, he's out of your lineup.
And that's all good,
I don't think yeah, I mean.
Good comeback, take a seat.
Yeah. So I was talking to Mike about this. I feel like if you're looking at comeback play of the year, if you're looking at just pure statistics and numbers, I think Big Ben would be the guy right now for comeback player of the year. But in terms of what Alex Smith went through, and like in his personal life, like almost losing a leg, almost dying, I think you said, right, Mike? I think just for what happened, what he went through, for him to come back and now him being the starting quarterback and to come out and win a game, I feel like you kind of just have to. Like
this is what
by default to give it to him.
This is why
of everything that he went through,
especially if the Washington football team makes the playoffs at 5-11.
If they win the division and make the playoffs, then you 1,000% have to give it to him.
So check this out. The reason why Alex Smith is going to win comeback player of the year is because Big Ben's going to win league MVP this year.
Ooh,
you're an idiot.
I like
it.
It usually goes to quarterbacks on winning teams, on like good record teams.
It's not a flub.
Flub.
It's not a flub.
Not a flub.
Truly.
I mean, this is a bubbly.
Come on, dude.
Come
on, give that to me. They're 10-0. If they continue to have a record like that, there's no way. Like they have to give.
If they go 16-0, Big Ben will get MVP.
I mean, they go 8-8 last year with the same defense, arguably a better defense because statistically they were.
Yeah, no Devin Bush now towards the ACL.
Yeah, and then now we're 10-0 with Big Ben back.
Hey, all I said was 16-0 Big Ben gets MVP.
He's only thrown like 6 interceptions this year.
I mean, he's been balling. Big Ben's
like 28 touchdowns.
But yeah, that's just a side note right there. But in terms of fantasy, you're not playing
sorry. Don't
get Mike going on the Steelers because he'll just go.
Somehow
he'll go down the rabbit hole.
Somehow he just brings up the Steelers and we're talking about the Cowboys.
And we're gonna talk about them in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, just literally, this ain't gonna take long.
And then let's go on to Antonio Gibson, the running back for the Washington football team. Rookie, he's been doing great.
I'm starting him. He's a safe RB2, I would say. 8 touchdowns this year, coming off a 2-touchdown game last week. 4 touchdowns in the last 4 games. A touchdown in 4 straight games, but he has 5 in that span. I put start my mans.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is,
even
he was a wide receiver, so even if they're getting smacked, he can catch.
I don't know if I put the other guy in there, but yeah.
So,
I think he's solid. Like you have to put him in, especially PPR leagues too.
Yeah, averaging over 4 yards a carry. I mean, he's on a bad team and he's still getting it done. Like I said, 8 touchdowns is good.
I mean, just looking at his PPR floor, I mean, he's outside of that week 1 game against Philly, who's got a good run defense, and he barely even played.
Yeah, Peyton Barber scored 2.
Yeah, Peyton Barber scored 2. I mean, he's pretty much had 9 or more points in every single game, so just a safe floor. And the guy's a touchdown machine. I mean, that was one of the things we touched on when he was coming out of Memphis, right? The guy, I think he only had 77 touches, like as receiving or running, but he had like 10 touchdowns or 17 touchdowns, like something stupid like that. It was just like he was averaging a touchdown like every like 10 times he touched the ball. So I mean, some players they just have a nose for the end zone. I mean, Gurley kind of name that just jumps to my mind. I know he hasn't been highly efficient this year, but Gurley just always seems to find the end zone for whatever reason. I mean, and Gibson's turning into one of those guys. I'm excited next year to see what Gibson can really do if they kind of like, just give him like the full workhorse role
give
over
him
there.
The keys.
Yeah. I mean, to your point about Todd Gurley finds the end zone even when he's not supposed to.
Yeah.
They literally don't find it. I won't. I'm not stupid. Finds it. He's like, my nose found it. I have a nose for the end zone. It's my nose. My nose did it.
I smelled it.
Little did he know he's an incentive-based contract. He's like, I need this touchdown right now.
He's like, get this L or get $6 million. Cut it in half, 8%.
It's like, we suck anyways. I won't be here
Carry
next year
the
anyways.
two.
And I'm gonna walk away with 1.7, 1.8 from that. I'm good.
Yeah, I forgot to. I didn't get him in here. My bad, guys. But we got J.D. McKissick as well. So I fucked up on the template. But J.D. McKissick, are you playing him?
In PPR or half point PPR, I am.
Not mad at it in half point and full point.
Yeah, I mean, he's a PPR guy. I mean, he's had 10 or more PPR points in 5 of his last 6 games. I mean, the targets have just been crazy the last 3 games, 14, 15, and 4. But the correlation to those 2 games where he had 14 and 15 targets, they were losing those games. They were in competitive games where they were chasing, so a lot of short passes from Alex Smith to J.D. McKissick. In the last week's game where he only got 4 targets, they were pretty much in control for majority of the game, especially when Joe Burrow went down. So no need to really throw the ball for the Washington football team. I'm expecting this to be more of a competitive game. I actually think the Cowboys win this game, being as how bad this division is. And, if the Cowboys win, they're pretty much tied for first or right there for first place in this division. I'll go with the Cowboys, and I think that since they will be putting up some points and leading, that they're going to have to throw the ball a lot more than they did last week. So I'm expecting McKissick to get another 10 targets this game.
Yeah, no.
I mean, double-digit targets sounds good to anybody, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, especially a backup running back, though. I mean, last 7 weeks, he's averaging right around 6 targets or 6 catches a game. Not even targets, 6 catches a game, which is pretty wild. I mean, his yardage alone can kind of keep you in the game. I mean, his floor, his receptions keep his floor safe, but he's nothing more than a flex play unless you're in a full point PPR. Then
I feel like he's doing what you expect James White to do. Yeah. But since his name is J.D. McKissick, people are like, that's gross. And he plays on the Washington football team, so they're like, that's just gross. But if James White was out here putting up these numbers that he's putting up, people would be like, oh yeah, that's just what James White does. And
J.D. McKissick's been like a journeyman. He's like, I remember when he had dreads. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I remember when he had dreads, and then he grew them.
Played on the Seahawks, right?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Didn't have one more team, but yeah, he's
No,
he's getting the job done. I mean, he's catching the shit out of the ball. So
yeah, he takes those balls and takes them home with him.
Dude, he definitely does.
yeah, he does.
All
right, let's go.
Anything Mike can
Let's
say.
move on to the wide receivers. We got Scary Terry. Not much you need to say besides put him in your fucking lineup.
Fucking send it in.
Send it in, baby. Put Terry McLaurin in.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin is one of those guys. I feel like we're getting to that set it and forget it territory of it just doesn't matter who he's playing against. He's, can't find hard to believe a situation where you're sitting him. Unless you're in an 8-man league and you're just stacked across the board, or maybe humble brag over Mike over here. Unless you just got the wide receivers you have in one of our leagues that we're in, then maybe you can get away from it in a tough matchup. But I feel like most of the time you're at least flexing.
I have 2 top 10 tight ends, wide receivers.
I mean, he's got 6.
I have 2 top 5 wide receivers actually. Just saying, pretty fucking good, dude.
Yeah,
what is he right now on ESPN? What receiver is he?
Terry McLaurin.
Standard, he's 14.
So he's even good in
He's even better. Yeah. Because
What's he in PPR?
It's got to be better. I mean, his last 5 games, it's 5 catches, 7 catches, 7 catches, 7 catches, 7 catches. And, I mean, he's got you 115, 95, 85, 90, 75. He's definitely a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, he's wide receiver 9 in PPR leagues on ESPN. So
that's what you call.
Put him in your lineup.
It's called horny.
Is that what it's called?
Daddy's horny for that one.
All right.
Let's go.
Steven,
Steven,
lock the door.
Chrissy, lock the door. Chrissy, lock the door.
Before you freak someone out.
Steven Sims Jr. That's going to be no for me. I was supposed to remove that, but I did not.
Yeah, you meant J.D. McKissick.
Yeah, I meant J.D. McKissick. Logan Thomas, the tight end. What are you guys thinking?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Yeah, I'm with you. With you, boys. Even against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to see.
Sparkling
Yeah,
water's delicious.
yeah, Cowboys. No. Let's go on to Washington's defense. I actually like Washington's defense this week. I think. I know me and you disagree on this one. Me and you disagree on this one, Tyler. But I think Washington's not a bad stream against Dallas. I think Andy Dalton's good at throwing picks.
Yeah. So,
But that's just my opinion.
if you want to do a beer bet, I lost the last beer bet we did. We did Denzel Mims against
Jamison Crowder. Yeah, beat you on that
Yeah,
one.
you beat me on that one, so I owe you a beer. Unfortunately, we have no beers at the house, or
And I don't drink, so.
else I would do it. But hey, just keep winning these bets, and then I'll just keep drinking. How about this, dude? I'm such a good friend and co-host to
Okay,
you
let's hear it.
that even if you lose the beer bet, I'll drink the beer for you, dude.
How about, okay, if you win the bet, you get to drink it. But if you lose the bet, you have to put the beer in your butt.
Of course, only you could
I'm just kidding.
just totally
I'm just
flip
kidding.
it into something gay like that.
I'm just kidding. Sorry. I didn't mean
Bro,
to
I'm
take
not
it
trying
there.
to get white girl wasted, dude. Does she get drunk faster that way?
Yeah, I mean, Steve-O did it.
Yeah.
He did that guy.
Yeah. But all right, so
He
we'll do
gets
a beer
girls.
bet. You won the last one. I'll say that, like, what? Okay, where do you think Washington finishes then? Like top 10, outside of the top 10?
No, I'm just
or-
I'm just looking at the possible streaming options. Like, sometimes we pick these defenses for streaming, I feel like, and it's like, okay, well, they're not even available to a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
like,
Washington
how
is
many-
available to a decent amount of people.
All right. Well, yeah, I
know
was
what I
gonna say
mean?
I don't like it. I mean, so what? Let's set a baseline for a bet then. Like
Okay,
eight
how many
points or
how many points? I think that they can get 10 points.
You think they can get 10 points? Ooh,
Yeah.
I was gonna
Which is
give-
what
I'll
they
give you.
start
I was gonna give you 8.
All right,
so I
let's
would
do 8
definitely
then.
take.
Let's do 8.
All right, we'll meet in the middle. 9.
See, you blew your cover too soon.
I know. We'll meet in the middle. 9.
Okay, 7.
What?
6. Wait, what? Wrong way.
Hey, 8. Why don't you do 8.5 then?
All right, yeah, 8.5. No pushes.
Fine. I
8.5,
say that
8.5,
I'll
ain't-
say that Washington does not score over 8.5 fantasy
All right,
points. For the
yeah, I'm
defense.
going over.
And we'll be better.
Here,
all right?
let me write it down. Let me write it down. Yeah.
All right.
Washington, take the mic. Keep going.
Yeah. So, all right. So I say under 8.5 points. The Washington defensive team. Mike says over 8.5. Dre, just for shits and giggles, what do you think?
I say Darren Waller's on pace for 96 catches.
That's another
No,
beer bet.
yeah.
Last year.
But he is on
See,
pace.
here's the thing, you guys. It's like I'm losing these beer bets, but I'm losing them on purpose, dude. I just want to drink
You're
a
the
beer,
winner.
dude.
You're the winner.
Yeah, dude.
You're the
All right,
winner.
but,
No, I say that the Cowboys are gonna they'll score less than 8.5.
No. It's whether or not Washington's defense.
That's what I
gets-
meant. I think Washington's defense is gonna finish with under 8.5.
Okay, so
points.
I'm over and you guys are under. Okay,
Correct though.
very good.
Well, more like we're over it, if you know what I mean. I'll remember this beer bet, dude. Don't worry.
All right, let's go on to the
All
next
right.
one here. We got
Dude, lay off
the
the meth, dude.
Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. Someone in the comments.
Start Dak.
We got Dallas Cowboys here. We got the Red Rocket, the Red
Jesus.
Rifle,
Always with
Andy
you.
Dalton.
know.
I honestly actually
Doesn't stop.
no,
Hey,
I
it's
didn't
good.
mean. I actually didn't mean it like that. I honestly get that confused.
Well, that's for a different day.
Got a good brain.
But yeah,
So,
so Andy
fucking,
Dalton against Washington's decent secondary. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, that's as we say,
It's definitely a no for me, though.
it's definitely a no for me, dog.
I'm good.
I'm over it.
Andy Dalton, prime time.
Schmandy Dalton.
Yep,
That's his
Andy
alter ego.
Andy Dalton.
that's the end of the notes right there.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even write Andy
This game's
Dalton's
probably gonna
name
be
down.
under. I'm gonna bet the under in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going to bet the over.
He said, yeah. I don't know. That was a good sequence. Yeah. I don't know.
All right, let's go on to the next one here. We got Zeke. We kind of said, this isn't a set it, forget it anymore. What about against Washington?
I mean, last week he looked good, over 100 yards for the first time all season for a guy who normally gets you, I feel like, a multiple 100-plus yard games on the season.
Yeah.
You're starting Zeke at this point. I think having Andy Dalton back, you get Zach Martin back because he missed a game or two with concussion. So, this offense is better with guys like Andy Dalton than Zach Martin on the field. That's for sure.
Well, what's great.
He wants to eat that turkey leg, too. He going to be my MVP
Is he?
pick. Yeah, he going to get that turkey leg.
That was his first receiving touchdown since week 1. But what's crazy is before last game, he had a combined 23 points in 4 games. So,
wow.
2 games with backup quarterbacks. Nobody did good on that
against
the
Pittsburgh.
offense with them. Yeah, and so.
But finally, he looked good. He actually had a little bit of burst. He actually looked like he wanted to win because he looked like he didn't give a shit anyway.
Yeah.
Like, he really wasn't tripping. Like, he's like, fuck it, we're not going to win.
I think now that they're kind of, I guess you could say, in
the hunt,
in the thick of things, at 3-7, they're in that division race right now.
I wish the Niners were in that division.
He said, Coach, you're saying there's a chance, Coach?
Hey, Coach.
Hey, how fun is it going to be last week of the season? It's going to be the winner gets the playoffs, the loser gets a top 10 pick. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
You can't. You're
That's
happy
funny.
either way, dude. You're happy.
That's
either way.
crazy.
That's pretty funny.
Bums.
Yeah, dial up Zeke.
Yeah, dial him up. How about Amari Cooper?
I know you didn't put him in there, but I would say if you have Zeke, I would 1,000% go get Tony Pollard. We're getting to the point of the season where, you want to handcuff your guys. You want to handcuff your studs, and Tony Pollard's one of those guys. I wouldn't even mind just rostering Tony Pollard at this point, just as kind of like a lottery ticket in case anything happens to Zeke. He's gonna be the main guy there, and I don't think he'd be splitting carries with anybody. So if Zeke goes down, Tony Pollard automatically enters like that top 10 running back category. So I would definitely be going to handcuff Zeke if I have him with Tony Pollard, and then if not, I'm going out and just grabbing Tony Pollard. What's the point of holding on to like a 5th or 6th string receiver? Give me a guy like Tony Pollard where, if anything happens to Zeke, he's got massive upside.
For sure.
I switched to cameras to trade. He said, for sure.
I didn't even know you did that for sure.
Amari Cooper. What about him?
Starting him. With Dalton, Dalton looked good this past week. He didn't find the end zone, but they looked like they were moving the ball a little bit better. So I would go with 2 of the 3 receivers for the Cowboys, but Amari is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I agree. He's been more consistent, I would say, this year than in years past. And that's even been with, some subpar quarterback play the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper.
Poopa.
Start him.
Scoopa.
Let's go to CD Lamb.
Cedric. Yeah.
Is that his full name?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep. You think they just named him CD? It could.
I don't know. My brother's about to have a kid named Ozzy, so,
Is that like for Australian?
No, I have no idea. I think they like Ozzy Osbourne. I think that's what it is.
Oh, like Ozzy. I meant like Ozzy.
Like O-Z-Z-Y.
Oh, I was thinking like A-U-S-S.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm starting CD Lamb, though. Back-to-back
I'm just saying,
touchdown games.
People naming their kids everything these days. Yeah.
And he's a punt returner, too. They're just trying to use him as much as they can. He's all over the field, so, fuck it. Why not?
I think
He looks better than Michael Gallup.
Yeah, I think he's one of the few receivers. He might be the only wide receiver, actually. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think he's had 5 or more targets every single game he's played. And he's only had 2 games in like PPR points-wise. He's only had 2 games under 10 PPR points, and those were the games where they had the 3rd and 4th string quarterbacks in there. He was my stardom last week. I felt like, he would really turn it on with Dalton. If Andy Dalton wants to be successful, he needs to be targeting CeeDee Lamb.
He's the best athlete on the field, even with Amari, I feel like.
Yeah.
Amari can run those routes, but CeeDee Lamb is...
that catch that he made was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was stupid. He made that look easier than it was, and he still made it look kind of hard. But easy.
The Raiders should have took CD.
No, man. Other teams should have
taken
CD.
Yeah.
A lot of
other teams should have taken CeeDee Lamb for sure.
But let's go on to the next one here. I have Michael Gallup, but I think that's going to be a no from everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
Gallup
just
to the
been too
bench.
inconsistent. He he could come out and boom, but he's had a lot of bust games, and without Dak, back there throwing 400 yards a game, I just don't like it with Andy Dalton back there. So
yeah, I'm with you.
Especially with how deep the wide receiver position is.
Facts.
And that's the thing is the wide receiver position is super deep, especially if your name is Michael Marcanio and you have the wide receiver dream team of the year. Let's go on to the tight end. We got Dalton Schultz. What do you guys think?
Borderline based on just availability for your team is what I mean, depends on who you have.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it, like a back end tight end one, like Dre said, depending on who you have and who's on the waiver wire. I mean, it just depends how bad the tight end position is. I think sometimes you're just looking for, can my tight end score a touchdown? I think, he's got as good a chance as any tight end this week.
For sure.
But I'm not like dying to throw him in my lineup.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
The Washington football team is giving up 8.8 points per game, fantasy-wise, to tight end position, giving up 6 touchdowns. Just a thought.
Just a thought.
So they're like middle tier.
Yeah.
Defense. But, okay, let's go on to the Cowboys defense. What do you guys think?
I think
It's definitely a no for me, though.
I think, therefore, I am.
You're what?
You haven't heard that? I think, therefore, I am.
Oh,
I'm not going to start their bitch asses because they suck.
Got him.
Ooh.
I don't know if you remember that. We used to do that a lot. At the bar, when I used to drink alcohol.
Let's get in there.
Let's go on to the best game of the week. This is actually, truly, this is the best game on Thanksgiving, right? Can we admit?
Yeah.
Like, come on. All right, we got the.
This could be the game of the week, period. Based on like the rivalry and
Yeah. It's good that they put this prime time so Big Ben can just pull his big
fat hand out and throw a touchdown pass.
Stats out and throw them all over.
I would say this is a game where if the Steelers win, I think they've got the division locked up, right? They'd be 11-0. I mean, I guess unless the Browns come out of nowhere, right?
Then we have 2 more division games, Browns and Bengals, and then we play the Colts, Bills.
But this win could literally cement them the division in a sense.
Yep.
But I guess if there's one game where they could potentially lose, would you say this could be a game that they could lose?
And so I would say that this game, the Colts game or the Bills game.
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking 60. That's 60% of their goddamn games.
No, there's 3. That's the hardest games of the schedule. I'm not nervous going up against Ryan Finley's Bengals, and I'm not that. Baker is fucking trash. I don't care what anybody says.
He's like, so is this the one game? He's like, well, this one.
Oh, the one game. Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen that video of Charles Barkley when he's like, I got 2 words for you, and then he like says like a whole sentence. He's like, Kobe Bryant on prime time.
Is the man.
And then he goes and he's like, yo, that was not 2 words. He goes, no, you said do a quick one. He's like, no, you literally said 2 words. He goes, all right, Steve Nash and this. And he goes, that's 3 words, dude. So funny.
He's good for TV.
So funny.
We actually need to get him on here.
Yeah, well, yeah. Call him up.
As if we had like the power to do that.
I know, but he's always coming up. He's always coming to our barbecues.
I'll call his publicist.
Yeah, we gotta link that up. We keep missing each other. We keep missing each other.
We call him, or we always see him at the barbecues, and he never comes through.
He was supposed to come through last week, but COVID.
Yeah,
that was what it was. Yeah,
that's what it was. It's fucking us up.
Yeah, it really is. Like all our guests, we had.
We'll get back to him. OJ
was about to come on. I actually know someone who was hanging out with OJ.
Yeah, me too.
Which is insane.
But
yeah.
Later.
All right. Well, let's go to Lamar Jackson. You texted all these. While I was putting these templates in, you put Lamar. What'd you put?
Lamar Jackson's bitch ass.
Yeah. So whoa. Hot words.
Fall the furthest the fuck back.
Whoa. That's a definitely no from Tyler.
Well, how do you guys feel about Lamar Jackson? I think I'm just frustrated because when I picked Lamar Jackson, you were helping me draft over the phone, and I was at a wedding, and I was mucho lit, and you're like, yeah, Lamar Jackson and Mahomes are there, and you're like, want me to take Mahomes? And I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just like the rebuttal. I was just like,
yeah, you tell
Lamar
me
Jackson.
I do that. You fucking did it right then.
But yeah, so I just get mad every time I see Mahomes lighting it up, and I'm like, man, I should have Mahomes, not Lamar Jackson. And I think it's just because it was a standard league. I think if it was a 6-point passing, I would have went Mahomes. But since it's standard, you like those quarterbacks who can run the ball, especially if they get the rushing touchdowns. But Lamar Jackson just hasn't been getting it done. I mean, he's only got 3 rushing touchdowns on the year. It's just been gross for him. I mean, one thing I could say that's been nice is he's been running the ball more. I kind of said it. Maybe they were trying to preserve him out for majority of the season. You can't have your quarterback running the ball 170, 180 times like he did whatever it was last year. But since their Week 7 bye, he's had 11 or more carries in 4 straight games. He's had 50 or more rushing yards in 4 straight games. 50 or more rushing yards actually in 5 straight games. So they just need to get back to what Lamar Jackson is. And like you said, Mike, if I want to beat the Ravens, I'm going to make Lamar Jackson do it with his arm, not his legs. And I feel like they've just totally abandoned the run on him right there. But for what it's worth, in his 2 career games against the Steelers, he's put up 11.4 points and 14.8 points. So just not very good. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts right here? He's QB 10 on the year. Are you playing him in this matchup? Or are you trying to look and stream for other options?
I mean, I don't have Lamar Jackson at all this year, but I will say if you have him, this is my thinking. Ready? It doesn't make any sense, but here it is. Tyler, I feel like every time you don't want to play Lamar, you play the other person, and then Lamar does well. So I will say that if you don't think you should play him, you should play him. And if you
wait, am I playing you in fantasy this week? Because you're sounding
no,
like
I'm playing Steven. But if you don't think you should play him, you should play him. If you think you should play him, don't play him.
Wait, what?
Sandwich?
Yeah.
Damn.
It makes sense if you don't think about it.
No, I get what you're saying there. I mean,
No,
how do you feel about it, Dre?
You're like, please, someone give some real analysis.
No, I was going to say, no. I mean, Lamar Jackson's just, I mean, it's a rivalry game. He's
someone who's not a fucking Steelers fan over there.
No, he's been getting right. He's been getting like that skepticism, but I would go with Lamar Jackson this week. It's like if this week, what week? Like he played so bad he was literally the reason they lost to the Steelers last time with those interceptions. He needs to have a good showing, whether he does it on the ground or through the air. But like you said, if he can get you even 1 on the ground and maybe that 2, or even if he runs for 80 yards and a touchdown, that'll make up for his passing deficiencies. You know what I'm saying? To where last year he was balancing it out. He was passing and running, so he was always good. But this year he hasn't been able to keep his floor high with the running game. So I feel like he should ball out this week. I mean, if he doesn't, I'm sure he'll hear about it.
I mean, I just
especially
think
on primetime. So I would go with Lamar Jackson.
I think if there's a week to not play Lamar Jackson, I think maybe it's against Pittsburgh's defense.
Yeah, let's throw a couple names out there. You playing Lamar Jackson or Taysom Hill, who is now officially a quarterback?
Lamar Jackson.
What do the Saints got this week? Sorry.
The Saints are at Denver against the Broncos.
I'll play Taysom Hill.
I think I'm going to go Taysom Hill on that one. I feel like they're literally the same quarterback, but at least
Hill,
Taysom Hill looks like he can throw the ball better.
He looks like he's having a Tim Tebow year.
Taysom Hill has this guy named Michael Thomas. Lamar Jackson does not.
Lamar Jackson's got Des Farden.
Yeah. What about Lamar Jackson or stay in this matchup right here? Lamar Jackson or Big Ben? Mike, we already know your answer.
Well, I didn't say anything.
But we already know your answer.
Okay.
I'm going to go Lamar Jackson.
Chug it, football.
Lamar Jackson.
You go Lamar Jackson. I think I'm going to go Big Ben on that one.
I'm going to go Lamar Jackson.
I'll go.
I just feel like he's got to get it done.
Big Ben.
Let's see. You got Lamar Jackson or Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's at home against the
Raiders.
The Falcons. Oh, yeah. I mean, my bad. Matt Ryan's against the Falcons. Matt Ryan's against the Raiders.
Basically the same thing for secondary wise.
Matt Ryan.
You're going Matt Ryan over Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, I would go Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan.
I think that one's based on if Julio plays or not.
Yeah, for sure. I was just about to say that.
But Matt Ryan's been so inconsistent. I think I actually would go Matt Ryan, though. I think I would go Matt Ryan on that one. All right, one more. Lamar Jackson or Carson Wentz? Carson Wentz is at home against the Eagles.
At home against the Eagles?
My bad. I keep saying the wrong things.
I mean, he is going to be at home, probably against the Eagles throwing interceptions. He's going to be against them, just wham, 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 wham.
It feels like he's against them with all the picks that he's thrown in the
Seriously.
NFL and interceptions.
Real
Carson Wentz against the Seahawks or Lamar Jackson.
Oh fuck, dude.
Lamar
It's like
Jackson.
the best matchup with the worst quarterback in the war. Like
I'm taking Lamar against the Ravens, Tyler.
No, but I'm going Carson Wentz.
You're a bum. He doesn't want to go against the Steelers.
I just don't want to play Lamar Jackson this week. That one's pretty gross.
I mean, who's your other backup? Or your other
No,
quarterback?
This is what I think.
I had Drew Brees, but
This is what I think. Carson Wentz and Lamar Jackson. Carson Wentz is a step down on picks, or a step down in talent-wise throwing picks. Like Lamar Jackson doesn't throw the ball enough to throw as much picks as Carson Wentz, who has a capability to. But
Carson Wentz
I would put them
fumbles, too.
almost on the same level of like inaccuracy right now.
Yeah, I think I go Lamar Jackson on
So
that one.
you got one with a great matchup and one with not so great matchup.
I'll go
So
Lamar.
that's why I'm
All
cool.
right. What else we got?
But okay, let's go on to Gus Edwards,
Yep.
the running back for the Baltimore Ravens. He had a really solid game against us last time. They totally screwed up our yards per game. How much yards per game we're giving up
y'all up.
to running backs last time. We were like really stout until we played the Ravens, and they kind of
Ran for 200.
It was really frustrating to watch because it was just like every time we had any type of pass rush, Lamar Jackson would just like slip away and like throw a little, I don't know, he's just a slippery little guy.
But yeah, I'm going to start Gus Edwards.
Yeah, Gus Edwards, I think you can start him even against Pittsburgh's defense.
I mean, hopefully they shut him down. It's a Lamar Jackson game. But, I mean, given the fact that there's Justice Hill and that's the only other guy, I mean, he's going to get the lion's share. I mean, the only way I can see him losing or losing his productivity is if the Steelers start smacking him and they go into pass mode, because then Gus Edwards is non-existent. He's not, proficient in the pass game. So if the Steelers go up 14-0 quick, then Gus Edwards is bye-bye, and it's going to be Justice Hill, or they're going to run, 4 wide sets.
Yeah, I mean, I like Gus Edwards this week. I mean, he's the last man standing, like you said, except for Justice Hill, who, hasn't really seen the field at all this year. But for what it's worth, I don't know if this has any correlation to do with the middle linebacker for the Steelers, Devin Bush, tearing his ACL and being out. But over their past 4 games, the Steelers have given up 5.1 yards per carry to the running backs. And like I said, last time they played, Gus Edwards had a good game. I think it was like 15, 16 carries for 87 yards and a tug. So, yeah, I do like Gus Edwards this week, like a good little RB2. He should see the volume and then the goal line carries. But like Dre said, if it gets away, then it could be mucho gross.
I don't know. I think Pittsburgh played against James Robinson. And Gio Bernard gets a lot of carries. Zeke played a lot of good running backs.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because Robert Spillane came in and he's doing a pretty good
didn't
job.
do anything against the Steelers, though.
He's been all right. No, he's been good. Yeah, he had that pick 6, too. So,
Yeah.
All right, what we got?
But okay, let's go on to
No.
Marquise Brown. That's no. So I was gonna say there's a possibility that Joe Hayden could be out.
Oh, there's a possibility that Marquise
Which is
Brown
a
could be on the bench.
With the right cornerback, the left cornerback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you're still nothing for you.
I mean, I was big on Hollywood Brown this year. He has 2 touchdowns. He has 2 touchdowns all season. In his last 5 games combined, he's got 16 fantasy points in 5 games.
He literally got a dud last week.
And that's in standard. He got a dud. He only has 6 catches in his last 4 games. Hasn't passed the 80-yard mark since week 4. Hasn't had a 100-yard game since the first week of the season.
Yeah, that's a no for me, dog. It's just too inconsistent, and like I said earlier, the wide receiver position is so deep. You could go find someone literally on your waiver wire, and they'll outscore Marquise Brown. Could he come out there?
Legit.
Could he come out here and have a Marquise Brown game where he gets you, a big long touchdown and puts up a good stat line for you? 100%. I mean, he's an NFL player. They drafted him for a reason. But am I willing to take that gamble? And I'm a gambling man, but I would say no. I'm not willing to take that gamble.
Dude, he doesn't look bigger. You guys were saying how he gained weight. He does not look like he gained weight.
I said he gained like 25 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, I think he lost it in the past 5 weeks. Because I watched him last week and he looked like JJ Nelson.
Probably.
Anyways.
They need to get Devin the Dude Duvernay more involved.
Yeah, truly.
He's the dude.
Yeah, he's the dude. The dude. Let's go to Mark Andrews. I didn't put Devin Duvernay or Des Bryant in there. What do you guys
Or
think?
James Prochet. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, this is the one guy you're really starting out of the pass game.
So it's kind of, you guys aren't really instilling any confidence in me in starting Lamar Jackson. You're just like, oh, these running backs these receivers are terrible.
Well,
I mean, it's
think about it.
Mark Andrews is going to get 2 touchdowns, and then Lamar Jackson's going to run for another one and throw for 250 and run for 80.
How are the Steelers against the tight ends? You're obviously starting Mark Andrews.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
He does have 2 touchdown upside any given week, but he's been all over the place too.
Yeah, he has. He's definitely not as
Pittsburgh
consistent.
Steelers are the most stout against tight ends. They've only allowed 1 touchdown to the tight end position. And they are averaging 4.5 fantasy points per game against the Steelers.
Yeah.
You
You
still got to start him.
You got to temper your expectations. If he comes out and gets you 3 for 25, don't be mad because it's what he does. But if he comes out and he gets you 3 for 25 but 2 touchdowns, that's also what he does, you know?
I wonder, it probably was Mark Andrews who scored on us, to be honest. Actually, I think it was like someone random. Anyways. Let's go.
Someone like Willie Snead.
It was like, I don't know. It was like fucking Tyler Eifert or something. Okay, let's go on to Raven. What?
I'm tripping. Never mind. I said Willie Snead. You were talking about tight ends.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go on to Ravens defense. You starting Ravens defense?
Yes.
I think you can start it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, you know what? No, I don't like it.
We saw Tannehill and them kind of put up. I mean, what did they score last week against the Tennessee Titans? I feel like it wasn't anything
I
great.
could hear Dre's insides.
Yeah. I mean, last 2 games against New England, 1 point. Tennessee, 0 points. Last time they played Pittsburgh, only put up 6 points. I would maybe be looking elsewhere for.
Yeah, I think it's not a must start in this scenario. But okay, let's go on to the best team in the league. By the way, can we just say how like nobody's on everyone's power rankings? They're not putting the Pittsburgh Steelers as number 1.
I mean,
why?
Because Mahomes.
Why? It's 10. They're 10-0, dude.
Yeah, because Mahomes and the Chiefs.
So disrespectful, dude.
I mean, is it?
It is.
Did you see what the Chiefs just did on Sunday night?
Yeah, they won. They beat the Raiders.
They were down 3, and he went down and scored a touchdown as if it was like
nothing.
like it was. Hey,
It's called prevent
It's
defense.
like, why?
Hey.
Where was this the whole game?
It's because it's called prevent defense.
I feel like at any point he could literally just be like, I feel like scoring this drive.
I forgot. Someone was at our house watching the game. Like, oh, they're gonna go for a touchdown. I was like, oh, they'll probably just go for the field goal and tie it. He's just like, why? When I'm literally gonna slang this thing. And
Pat
score?
Mahomes isn't the first quarterback to do a 2-minute drill.
Yeah, he did. He didn't do a 2-minute drill. He did a 1 minute and 15 seconds with ease drill.
I mean, Tom Brady did that like fucking in old age against the Falcons like 4 times in a row. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm hating on Pat Mahomes. I actually love Pat Mahomes. He's so fun to watch.
Oh, so that's why
yeah,
the Chiefs are
I'm
the favorite. It's like you asked
yeah.
me my question just to hear my answer to be like, actually, no, I fuck with Pat Mahomes.
Yeah. But let's start with the Steelers, though. We got Big Ben Roethlisberger. You starting Big Ben? So Big Ben's listed questionable, but I looked it up. It's a quadricep injury, but it says injury related. So
pretty good.
I think it's a quadricep like upkeep kind of thing. So I think he should be playing.
Nice one. Yeah, no. If he's healthy, he's playing. I mean, you have those 3 receivers, Ebron. They're not really running the ball as much. I mean, we're looking at Connor's stats. I mean, he's getting some yards, but I mean, they're not, running the ball 25, 30 times a game, so they're doing it more through the air. So I'll take Big Ben if he plays, especially with those guys and Ebron. Yeah, just weapons all the way around. But it is a rivalry game, so I mean, be careful. I mean, sometimes they can get, more defensive, but still, I mean, Big Ben. There's not that many more options, that you can take over Big Ben. I don't know how your teams look, but Big Ben's usually the starter for some squads. I mean, what do I know? I'm just Mexican.
I mean, I have Big Ben in a league, and I'm just kind of looking to see who's on the waiver wire. I mean, I might try to make a move and see if, just depending if there's a better matchup out there. I mean, he's been okay. He hasn't been great, but he's been okay. I mean, last time he played against Baltimore, only puts up 182 yards and 2 tugs. One thing I can say, he has thrown for 2 or more touchdowns in every single game except for one. That was against the Cleveland Browns when they were just shellacking them, so they didn't have to throw the ball that much.
Shellacking.
But, I mean, I think he's like a back-end QB1. I mean, if you could find someone with a better matchup, then I'm probably leaning the better matchup for the ceiling, because I'm not sure what his ceiling is in this matchup. We could maybe see like one of the Steelers and Ravens of old, where, it's more of like a defensive battle, not these like higher scoring games that are happening lately.
Yeah. I'm with you there. I think he's still – okay, would you play Big Ben or Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. I don't even know who he's playing against, but
I'll pull them all up.
Packers are playing the Bears.
Yeah, against the Bears.
ooh, that one's a close one. Actually,
Would you do Big Ben?
And is that in Chicago or is that in
It
Green
is
Bay?
in Chicago.
If it's in Chicago, then I might lean Big Ben.
Chicago.
I mean, the Bears coming off a bye, division game at home. That pass defense is
Sorry,
pretty
it's
good.
in Green Bay. I lied.
Okay. Then I'm a little more. Then I would sway towards Green. Aaron
I just wanted to hear all your points, and they were all excellent. That's all.
Who else? Who else you got there?
Let's go Taysom Hill or Big Ben.
I'm gonna go Taysom Hill. I'm all in on the Taysom Hill train. I think he's putting up what Lamar Jackson can be. He's gonna run the ball, get you like 50 yards on the ground.
He needs to pass it to
line back.
Kamara.
I mean, yeah, we'll see if he gets Kamara involved. I mean, he did what is the most important thing that he could do as a passer: throw the ball to Michael Thomas
And win, yeah.
Yeah.
No, and they
It's
were, for sure. And I forgot where I was reading it today or watching. They were saying how he doesn't go through reads. Like, it's a good thing. He almost, like, sees a guy open, throws it, which is why they were saying why Kamara, like, didn't get any passes or, like, didn't even get a catch because Taysom Hill was like, I see him, he's open. Like, he wouldn't, like, drop back, let Kamara run those angle routes, those swing routes. He was just finding a guy, seeing the guy, and then throwing, and, I mean, it was working.
Yeah, I'd go Taysom Hill.
What about
over Big Ben.
Derek Carr or Big Ben? Derek Carr against the Falcons in Atlanta.
I'll go Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. Because
That sounds so gross. Did I really just say that?
Yeah.
this is one thing I'm looking for now.
Did you see the picture of Derek Carr, by the way, this past week? Of him like this on the sideline?
Yeah.
You didn't see it? He was like this on the sideline.
Just look like a
Just looked evil as fuck. Like looking
a
through his
demon.
eyebrows, But yeah.
I would only, I mean, at this time of the year, I look for, even whether it's defenses, kickers, or quarterbacks, I
Okay.
look at the weather because now it's starting to get into the
Yeah.
cold weather. So, I mean, anytime I can get someone playing in a dome, I'm going to take like I said, whether it's a kicker or a quarterback. Because, I mean, you saw that Texans-Browns game 2 weeks ago. People were loving the matchup, but 30-mile-an-hour winds. Shitty day for pretty much everybody in fantasy. So
Yeah.
How about
I would just keep your eyes out.
Last one before we move on to the running back, Tom Brady or against the Chiefs.
Buck Brady.
Tom TB Buccaneers.
I'll go Tom Brady. I think he
It's
played really bad on Monday Night Football, but I think he's got to come back, especially against Mahomes. I'm expecting the Chiefs to put up some points. And then if I'm the Buccaneers, I'm just literally watching both games of the Raiders and the Chiefs, and I'm mimicking exactly what the Raiders did in terms of throwing the ball with Derek Carr because they could throw all over the Chiefs. The Raiders have the last two games, and Brady arguably a better passer than Derek Carr, and then Brady's weapons are arguably way better than what Derek Carr's weapons are. So I'll go Brady on that one.
All right.
They got to get rid of the ball fouls. He kind of have to do what Jared Goff did yesterday. I know it's different teams, but they got to just get the ball out of his hands quick and just put it into the play. I mean, look at Brady's got Evans, Brown, Godwin, 3 white tight ends.
When the game's on the line, how about not throwing it to Cameron fucking Brate when you have all these other receivers?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And stop throwing the goddamn ball to fucking Ronald Jones and Fournette. Sorry.
Fournette had 3 drops. 3. Brady was
Like,
dogging.
how incompetent of you that you can't catch a football that's thrown to you from 5 yards away. It'd literally be like if you're throwing me a football and I drop 3 of them in a row. Like, how are you an NFL running back?
I don't get that.
Here.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand how some running backs
You're
have
wearing these
dick hands.
gloves
They have
now,
dick
like-
hands.
Those gloves literally like you catch everything. You catch colds, you catch fucking
It's
flus,
insane.
you catch
Whoa,
influenza.
easy. Whoa, all of the flus, huh?
Bro, you catch COVID-19, you catch
Nah, he can't catch it. He's gonna drop
Fournette
it.
was looking like Nelson Aguilar out there. Couldn't even catch any babies.
Sorry,
coming out of a fire.
I'm getting so worked up. Hold on. Brain blast. Let's go on to running back James Conner.
You do start him just.
Fuck, dude. I don't know.
I mean,
You got to start him, I think.
I mean, he's one of few running backs that are getting, bell cow type. I mean, you've seen Anthony McFarland come out and get he's getting like a whole drive. He'll get 4 carries. Benny Snell will get a couple, but for the most part, James Conner's that guy. Even when he doesn't do well, he'll have 18, 19 carries, couple catches. It just, is he going to do something with it? I don't know, but his volume alone, he should be at least a flex.
Like RB2.
RB2, yeah, flex at the worst. But unless you're loaded at at running back, there's no reason why he shouldn't be
I think
shouldn't be in the game.
the hard part is like Benny Snell comes in and fucking snakes him, you know?
Definitely snaked that touchdown last week.
So it's like you see stuff like that, it gets a little bit frustrating, but I think I'm with you. I think you do have to play him. I would still stagger expectations for James Conner.
Who would you play? Someone sent me a lineup. They were asking me for my opinion on it, but he had he kind of one of the decisions he was having was for his second running back, because I think he had like Kamara as his RB1, but for his second running back, and his flex receivers were pretty good. He had 3 pretty good receivers, so it was pretty much debating between Kenyon Drake against the Patriots or James Conner against the Ravens.
I think I would go James Conner.
I think I'm gonna go James Conner on that one too.
James Conner. Yeah, but it just stagger expectations or lower expectations, I should say. Let's go Deontay Johnson. I think that's a definite start right there.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it'd be hard. I know you're going to run through all these receivers, but I think it'd be really hard to sit Deontay Johnson. It'd be really hard to sit Claypool. I think the only one that would maybe you're considering is Juju, but even then I feel like depending on how deep you are at the position, I mean, how do you guys feel about it? I'm playing Deontay Johnson. He's just getting 10-plus targets every game. And then Claypool scores a touchdown every game, it seems like, 2 touchdowns in some games. And then Juju's kind of the odd man out. I mean, what's your thoughts on it? A residential Steelers fan over there.
On all these guys?
Yeah.
Here, well, so Deontay Johnson will just say start. Chase Claypool, I think you got to start, like you said. But Juju, like you're saying, it is harder. I still think like the upside is there. I think you lower him. I don't think he's like the wide receiver 1 or 2 that we had thought. But I think there just still is upside, man. Like the guy can catch a slant route and take it to the house from anywhere, you know?
His floor is...
I think it's just if Big Ben plays or not, which I think he will play. That's like my deciding factor, I think.
I feel like Big Ben, now they're getting to the point where, I mean, not saying they're trying to go undefeated, but they're obviously doing the one game at a time. I just feel like he doesn't want to lose to the Ravens. Like, of all, you know... It's a rivalry game. It's a division game. And how T said, you know, they can have the division on lock. So I feel like if there were a game, this would be one of the games where they really want to make sure that they get, especially because the Ravens just lost the way they lost. So they can just really shit on their
chest.
Yeah, they'll be, 6-6? Can I get chest for $600, Alex? R.I.P. And that's why we're Kyler and Tyler, dude. He finishes my sentences.
Yeah. Oh, somebody commented. By the way, this podcast is live streamed. It's Nunez021. What's up, man? Thanks for checking us out on Twitch, man. Yeah. So, like I said before, we got copyright strikes, so that's why you haven't seen us on there on any notifications. But let us know if you have any fantasy questions. We're gonna wrap up the end of this Steelers thing, and then we'll answer yours.
Yeah, we got
if
you.
you got anything.
We got you.
I think for Juju, for me, I like him more on PPR, full point PPR, than I do like in standard or half. I mean, prior to last week he gets you a dud, 4 for 19. But I mean, prior to that, 4 out of his last 5 games, he's had 6 or more receptions, 67 or more receiving yards in 4 of the last 5 as well. So I think I like him more in PPR. And for what it's worth, last time they played it against the Ravens, 7 for 67. So maybe that's just a matchup that was kind of their game plan of, okay, like we like this matchup in the slot a little bit better instead of these outside receivers. I mean, because the Ravens do have some pretty good wide receivers on the outside. So maybe this could be like a Juju type of game here. But, yeah, so I think you can play all 3 of these guys right here.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think it all depends with Big Ben plays. But like Dre's saying, it's an important game. I think they're for sure going to make sure he plays. Big Ben plays. The dude plays like when he shouldn't be. So I think he will.
Yeah, I can't imagine a scenario where Big Ben doesn't play.
He doesn't play, like he doesn't just take games off, especially big division games like this. Yeah. We got Eric Ebron, the tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you guys think? Start him? I think you can start him. When it's the tight end landscape's kind of rough, I
mean, he has a good floor for targets. I mean, he's getting 5, 6. I mean, when he's getting the ball, he's doing well with them. And I think he's just taking advantage of the other receivers just kind of spreading out the field, and he's just kind of getting underneath, and whatever he can get, he'll take. I feel like his floor is good, and then if he gets into the end zone, more power to him. But he's an athlete in his own right. I mean, he's a mismatch problem also, so wouldn't surprise me. if he finds the end zone again. He's little by little, he's way past Vance McDonald. Like it's for sure Ebron.
Yeah, I mean Vance has been injured too. He's been dealing with injuries, so it's like, side note for Steelers, I think the Steelers are gonna get rid of Vance for sure, free up some cap space because we are in trouble when it comes to cap space next year. We got like Stephon Tuitt coming out of his contract. You got a bunch of guys.
Yeah, I mean Ebron for me, I mean he's a back end tight end one. Depending on who else you have, maybe you have 2 tight ends. You could play a better matchup, or depending on who's the waiver wire, maybe you get lucky, you strike gold. I forget who our tight ends for the waiver wire were. I know Goddard was one. I can't remember who the other one was. Jordan Reed was another guy in the waiver wire that we were talking about who could be a nice little matchup there. But I mean, he's only had over 50 yards once the entire season, so he's kind of touchdown dependent. But he has found the end zone 3 of the last 4 games. So he's, like they said, for me, he's a back end tight end one. Depending on who I got, I might actually be looking to move to a different player.
Yeah, but how about Jonnu Smith or Ebron?
No, Jonnu all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jonnu.
Yeah, in standard, Ebron's a number 12, so you'll take it.
Back end tight end.
Back end, yeah, for sure. And PPR he's not, but
I think he's just like you're saying, he's getting more and more increases. Like I think it really, but it's like every tight end. If they fall in the end zone, it makes them much more fantasy relevant.
He just happens.
I mean, Jonnu Smith's even that way.
He's just a good red zone threat too. I mean, because when you get in there close inside the 20, I mean, you got to count for Juju, Claypool, Deontay, and it's like, okay, now you got Ebron lining up against a safety who he's bigger than, or a linebacker that he's faster than. I mean, that's a matchup where I'm pretty sure Big Ben has looked to exploit it. Obviously, like I said, 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games. So, I mean, he's just a mismatch nightmare, especially when they get close into the red zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Steelers defense.
Oh, yeah.
Light it up. You got to play them every week.
Just light that shit up like Sloan Kettering.
Yeah.
This is like a side note. The Steelers defense, someone dropped them. I think it was maybe their week 4 bye. It had to have been their week 4 bye. I can't imagine why they would just randomly drop them. But they were on the waiver wire, and we're in a fab league where you get 100 points. And I was pretty good at. I think the only thing I needed was a quarterback. But I mean, I had good running backs, I had good receivers, tight ends. So I was pretty good at. But I had no defense, and I just went all out. I was like, I'm gonna put $35, so 35% of my fab on the Steelers, because I knew if I got them, which I did, that they were going to be a set it and forget it for me for the rest of the year. I wouldn't even have to worry about it. And that league's a crazy league too with defenses. They put up like you get like kick return and punt return yards on top of what your defense does. And so they've just been crushing it.
Yeah, that's what we call nice.
I dropped Colts D after week 1, and I'm looking at what they've done. Oh my god, retard.
Yeah, I think I kept them for a little bit, but I dropped them too.
And I know why I dropped Colts D, because they were up 20-0 or 21-7 against the Jags, and they gave up fucking 3 touchdowns, and I was so mad. I was like, I hate them, and they've been balling.
It was like a pity. It was like not a pity. What's the word for that? It's like a frustration.
Oh, dude, yeah, impulse. I guess, yeah. Dude,
that's Omar, by the way. That's who commented on.
Oh, was it? Oh, what up?
That's who it was. I don't know if he's still in here, but yeah.
All right. Well.
Play Steelers defense. Do you want to? Let's answer. Somebody asked that question on the last video. Do you remember what it was, Tyler? Do you want to answer it?
Yeah. Let's see.
And we could, forward it to him.
So we got a question a guy was asking.
By the way, if you want your question answered, just go ahead and leave it on one of the YouTube comments, send it to us, and we'll answer it on the podcast.
Yes, sir.
What was the guy's name?
It was John Nitch. I think that's how you're saying it. But he needs help. He's got, pretty much who do you want to start here? He's got David Montgomery and CEH in his lineups right now for running backs. But he also has Savon Ahmed, and then he has Mostert, who may or may not play. And then his receivers are Deontay Johnson and A.J. Brown, who are in. And he has got Claypool on the bench. So who are you starting and who are you sitting? I told him you're for sure starting CEH.
For sure.
I said Montgomery is kind of tricky because you don't know if he's going to play on Sunday night or not. So I would move Montgomery to the flex spot. Then, obviously, you need to pick another running back. I told him I would pick Savon Ahmed over Mostert because at least Savon Ahmed in his 2 starts has seen 66+% of the snaps. He's kind of really just taken over that Myles Gaskin role. I think Gaskin's slated to come back off IR, but who knows if he plays. Mostert's slated to come back off IR too, but I'm not sure, if they're going to give him a full workload or maybe they ease him in. It could be another hot hand approach where, maybe McKinnon's hot or someone else comes in and they're hot, like Hansel, so they kind of ease it on him. But, I mean, what would you be willing to start Deontay Johnson and Claypool?
Yep.
Because you're starting A.J. Brown.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, if you started him last week, you're good. If you started him the week before that, you're good. So
what we're saying right here is, would you be willing to? Who would you play, Montgomery or Savon Ahmed? I guess he didn't put whether it was PPR or standard or something like that. That obviously makes some type of difference.
Let's just go half point.
I would go Savon Ahmed still, just because the Bears. You said their offense is in disarray. Like you said, Ahmed's been doing well. He can find the end zone. Just Montgomery, the Bears just nah. And the cold weather, I'm good.
If it's PPR, I'm saying. You know who I'm saying.
Montgomery,
Savon Ahmed.
Well, especially if the
Claypool.
Packers, if the Packers are smacking them. I mean, Montgomery gets targets, but I mean, how effective is he really going to be?
So you're starting Ahmed over Montgomery. So you have Ahmed and CH. Are you gambling on Mostert, or do you need to wait 1 week to see it before you feel confident throwing him into your lineup?
1 week, especially with Shanahan. Excuse me. With Shanahan, how he can easily go elsewhere. I mean, there's no Jermichael Hasty. So what do they have? They have
McKinnon.
Yeah, McKinnon.
Who knows if Temin Colvin comes back? I think Jeff Wilson Jr. is still on IR.
Yeah. And they could be playing from behind. So, yeah, just with injuries like that, I'd rather wait. With Mostert, I would go with your boy.
And then for the flex, instead of having Montgomery in the flex, you'd rather have Claypool over Montgomery for the boom of what he could bring?
Fuck, man. Probably. I would go 2 Steelers. I mean, they can.
I would go Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson.
All in on the Steelers.
But I mean, week after week, they're fantasy relevant. The guy's got a touchdown in every game.
You're not wrong.
And I think Mike is saying, see if Benny Snell's available and see if you can just plug him in for your running back one.
Okay.
Yeah. But all right, that was.
That's it. Thanks for the question. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and leave it for us, and we'll answer it on the podcast. But thanks for listening. This has been the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 3, Episode 75. That's the Turkey Day start sits.
Gobble.
Thanksgiving, baby.
Gobble.
Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble up all those points.
Good luck on all your
fantasy points. Good luck
on those lineups.
Yeah, this Thursday. Enjoy watching the football games. Eat some food with the fam.
Catch you a fucking wild turkey.
Catch you a wild turkey. Don't talk about politics with your family.
Just don't talk about politics to anybody.
Yeah, but especially on Thanksgiving. It's like a go-to. Don't do that. Also, tell your mom you love her. Also, tell my mom I love her. Hey, Omar, you have a great Thanksgiving, brother. Thanks for joining us in the live stream, brother. But yeah, enjoy yourself. That's it. Us big boys. Anything you guys want to say? And just like that, us big boys are out. Stay blessed. Omar Nunez, fucking number one. Peeping us always.